Section 3.8, Spelling and Pronunciation of the final S and the final ES. She runs 6 miles every day. Run becomes runs in the third person singular. Rain becomes rains. Scrub becomes scrubs. Love becomes loves. These are all pronounced, they are spelled with the final S, but they are pronounced as if it's a Z. It's a voiced pronunciation, which means the vocal cords vibrate. Z. Runs, rains, scrubs, loves. It's a final Z sound. The third person singular, we must add an S. Sink becomes sinks. Meet becomes meets. Fight becomes fights. Cough becomes coughs. For all of these in the third person singular, we must add an S. These endings sound and have the sound of a final S and not a Z. This final sound is not voiced, it is voiceless. The vocal cords do not vibrate. For the third person singular, we must add an S to these verbs. Push becomes pushes. Watch becomes watches. Miss becomes misses. Tax becomes taxes. In all of these endings, the SH, CH, SS, and X, to form the third person singular, we must add ES, and it adds a syllable. It is also pronounced as an EZ. This follows the convention of adding an S to the third person singular. To get an S sound, with these preceding consonant mixtures or consonant clusters, we must add ES, and they add a syllable. Dry becomes dries. Study becomes studies. For spelling, words that end in a consonant plus the Y, R is a consonant plus a Y, D is a consonant plus a Y, we must add an ES, and it's pronounced as a Z sound. In order to form the third person singular for these verbs, we must change the Y to an I and add ES. Pay becomes pays. Buy becomes buys. In these constructions for the verb, to change it to third person singular, words that end in a vowel plus the Y, we must add an S. A-Y is a vowel plus the Y. U-Y is a vowel plus the Y. The S, the final S in these words is pronounced as a Z. Pays, buys. For these irregular verbs, we've seen that have changes to has in the third person singular, go changes to goes, and do changes to does. The pronunciation, because they are irregular verbs, changes. Have changes to has with the final Z sound. Go changes to goes with the final Z sound, and do changes to does with the final Z sound. These verbs are irregular. Mark pushes his bike up the hill every afternoon. This verb ends in SH, so we must add the ES and add a syllable. The child brushes his teeth every morning. Same construction. This verb ends in sh. We must add an es for the third person singular, and it adds a syllable. Brush, 1 syllable. Brushes, 2 syllables. Brenda often dreams about her old home.